Hey Sarika, thanks so much for connecting with me. Could we just get started with an introduction of yourself? How are you involved in the dating space? Who are your clients? And what are some of the services that you provide?
Sure. I coach mostly women, professional women around the world in how to date and find their soulmates. So I go from, offering like a holistic kind of life coaching perspective and then also dating coaching, which means helping them with their online dating profiles, how to communicate with men, how to build chemistry, how to move from dating to commitment to marriage. So, all of that. And I've been doing this for around 13 years.
How can my audience reach you for dating advice?
Sure, they can come to my website, www.sarikajane.com, and I have a lot of resources there. I do have a YouTube channel, which is kind of growing, not, it's somewhat there, and Instagram, Sarika Jane Patel.
So, I want to talk to you about the mistakes men make with their dating app profiles. But before we get there, I want to understand the purpose of a profile. What is the point of a dating app profile? Are we trying to be factual about ourselves? Or do we want to pop? Do we want to impress others, stand out from the masses, and win attention?
So for me, I view online dating like looking for a job. I work with professional women. So when you are very, clear that, listen, I spent the last 4 years of my life focusing on my career, working on my resume, and making sure my resume pops in front of companies. That's the same level of intention and purpose and focus that should be in one's dating profile. So when you're using your dating profile, it's kind of like you, it's your brand, it's what you stand for. It's, you know, it should capture everything about you in a nutshell. Not everything, but at least, like the highlights about you in a nutshell, because you are a unique person. And, one thing I really do hope and wish for, and, I'm lucky I found my soulmate, is that you find someone that matches you on a soul level. So not superficial. I mean, a lot of us start off dating superficially, but the more you date, the more you realize you want something deeper, something that helps you connect on a mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual level, right? Whatever you're resonating at, for in each of these categories. And so you want to make sure that your profile, you know, helps articulate that. And it should be attention grabbing, it should be funny, even. And so, yes, I think the purpose is to help you find your soulmate in the fastest way possible. Now, here's the thing, if your profile isn't up to par, then it's going to take you longer to meet your match. Okay. And I was just reading a study that most men desire more attractive women than themselves, right? Every guy wants a trophy wife, everyone, right? Even if they just like the girl next door in a movie, the girl next door in a movie is always pretty and cute and easygoing and charming. And so that's what men want, right? They want someone who is easygoing, fun, smart, talented, um, and all of that. And so you've got to make sure that your profile stands out and helps attract those kinds of women because already those women have a lot of competition, right? So you want to use your time effectively by having a really fun, poppy profile.
So, what are some markers of a bad profile versus a good
Okay.
profile?
The number one thing is that it's the amount of time that was spent on the profile. If it looks like it was put together in 5 minutes, like a selfie in the bathroom, something about me, I'm witty, I like to run on the beach, I like to read, and then, I'm looking for a woman who's fun and understanding and likes to do these things with me too. That took 5 minutes to put together, you know? And so that kind of profile will immediately put you in the C category. So when I coach women, I teach them, okay, look, there's A, B, and C category of men. Okay. And I actually encourage my clients to date B category men just because I want them to get practice and communicating with men. And then when they're really confident in themselves, then I'll say, okay, reach out to an A category guy. But I want you to, as a man, think about where your profile would be in these three categories, like honestly. And if you want, go and check out other men's profiles. Just check them out, see which ones stand out to you. I tell women to do that for women's profiles, right? So, yeah, so I would say that's the biggest mistake. The second is for pictures. Women are visual creatures just as men are. Okay. So, pictures of you wearing huge sunglasses, standing by railway tracks, like, I've seen a lot of blunders, right? Pictures of you wearing baggy clothing, not showing your full body, unattractive pictures, fuzzy pictures, pictures of you drinking at a bar. Like, those are not high quality images, right? Now, I want you to imagine as a man or as a woman has been thinking about getting married since she was a kid. Okay. Like women have been born and brought up on fairy tales and Bollywood. Okay? My husband always laughs about that. He's like, every woman's just thinking about Bollywood, And it's true. Bollywood has influenced us. I'm now watching Pakistani serials and I'm like, oh my God, those men are incredible. Look, we want an attractive man. And so you have to also, you know, take that into account that your pictures have to represent, at least, like how you would look on your best day out, So that's another thing. And then the third thing I would say is that your profile itself is boring and not memorable. Okay. Like there's nothing in there that a woman could connect with. Now, sometimes when I'm coaching women, they complain that, Sarga, there's nothing in the profile that I can respond to. Like they might actually like the pictures of some guy and, he looks successful, intelligent, well, like growth oriented even, but his profile says nothing. Like, what do I write to him? And so I try to help my clients try to figure out what to write. But, you know, you've got to have pointers in there that help a woman hook onto it, right? Because ultimately you want to, like, think about nature. The peacock, the male is more attractive than the female, right? The male has to do all of the stuff. He has to strut his feathers to win her heart, right? And he's got to sing and he's got to, you know, and so you've got to put in that much effort, guys, into your dating profile. And even if it's on matrimonial sites, this is why I don't distinguish between matrimonial sites and dating sites, because it's the same thing. You're looking for your soulmate. You're looking to spend the rest of your life with someone. So this is a very important, um, matter, and so yeah, I would say those are the three big mistakes that men make.
You talked about three categories of men. Like, what does that look like?
Again, just general, there's no like actual categorization here, but I would tell my clients, imagine who's in your type A or category A. Usually it's like ultra attractive, ultra successful. That's usually just 1% of men. Okay, went to Ivy League and all of these like fantasy things that women dream about, that's there. Okay. Um, Category B is like between 50, no, I would say 60% to 99 percentile, like that percentile, right? Where they're attractive enough, interesting enough, no red flags. Okay. Red flags like, I don't, men who write, I don't like drama, please, or, just looking for a short-term relationship, something casual. Even if women are looking for something casual, they don't want to hear from a man that they're looking for something casual.
Why is that?
Why is that? Well, because again, women want to feel chosen. We want to feel like, okay, you chose, even if you're just dating generally, right? Women still want to feel like they're cherished, they're loved, and they're supported. It's just these core feelings that women want to feel in a relationship.
Sure.
Okay. So, yeah, and then the category C would be men who have red flags and just unattractive professions, unattractive photos, things like that.
So, just a hot take. Are you saying that pictures matter more than the bio when it comes to the apps?
Well, if you think about how people search, it's through photos first, right? Like if you've sat down and looked at people looking at online profiles, they're they're swiping very quickly. And so the first thing they're looking at is the photo. So for me personally, I think photos matter a lot. And then of course, like a quick, like if the photo test passes, then the first take on the profile should be attention grabbing. It should be witty, funny, authentic.
So let's talk about pictures. Group pictures as your first photo, yay or nay?
Nay,
Why is that?
because a woman's choosing to be with you, not your group of friends. And a man who's by himself looks confident. He's self-aware. He doesn't need approval from other people. And so he's not one of the herd. He stands out, you know? So I would recommend for both men and women have solo pictures of yourself.
Can it be a selfie, the first picture, or does it have to be a picture of you that someone took, like you're kind of slightly far from the camera so it feels more natural? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, personally, I don't like selfies, but I know that sometimes selfies work. So I'm not going to discount the value of selfies, but I always encourage my clients to get professional pictures done. And you can get professional pictures that look natural. That's my recommendation. And like you said, far off, your full body, wearing something attractive. Usually a photographer captures your eyes really well, captures your features really well, can help, edit out blemishes. So, my clients have done really well with professional pictures.
Pictures with sunglasses. Why do men do it?
I know. Why? Why? Like, you're a Bollywood star, I don't get it either. Like if you're trying to hide, so that's the thing. You look like you're undercover, you're trying to hide something, or that you just think you're way too cool for school. So yeah, don't. We want to see your eyes. We want to see how you look when you smile.
What are the guidelines to take a good selfie?
I'm not a selfie expert by any means, but don't cover your face, don't cover your chest, try to take the selfie so that, the full lighting and camera is on you. So maybe doing it in the mirror. But again, I'm not like, I don't feel like I belong to the selfie generation, I'm in my 40s. So, but I think the ones that use a mirror probably at least have better results.
Are we supposed to be intentional with the types of photos we put in our profiles, or does it just need to be random pictures where we look our best?
Yeah, I would say random pictures where you look your best. I don't think pictures need to include you horse riding, biking. Like it doesn't need to show the activities that you do, drinking, fishing. Like those are not, we can get it from your profile. So women fall in love with through words. Okay. We love to read, like women are big readers. We'll fantasize you about you through what you write. Okay. So your pictures, even when I coach clients, I'm like, just get attractive pictures done by a photographer, and it could be outdoors, and that's enough. And that's my personal opinion. But you can also have other pictures of you traveling or whatever. But it's not about the background. I mean, although please don't stand next to railroad tracks. Like that's just I don't know why men do that too. But or an old building that's like falling apart. One of the profiles that you sent me has that. It's like, come on, guys. Like, that's not what women are dreaming about, right? We don't want to stand next to a man in a falling apart bungalow, right? So, choose like an attractive setting to have your pictures taken, or take them from weddings. That's fine too. But make sure they're good quality. Make sure that there's plenty of exposure on your face and you look attractive.
How do you strike a balance between presenting yourself and being authentic to who you are? Someone who doesn't like to pose for pictures, or someone who likes to hang out in bars, but you don't want a woman to know that you like hanging out in bars. It's kind of confusing. Do you try to be yourself, or you try to be someone that can attract a lot of women?
Again, going back to the resume discussion, right? Ultimately, the employer is looking to hire you because they like you as a person. You have to work well with the team. You have to be dependable and easygoing and smart and all of those things, right? But what catches the employer to the employer's attention is that you meet certain criteria, right? And you have something interesting in there. So I'll give you an example. When I was in college, I put that I like Taco Bell in my resume. Like, I don't know why I did that. I put I like salsa dancing, I like Taco Bell and this, that. And I had a good resume. I did engineering and all those things. And so I would get phone calls from employers that would say, "Hey, I noticed that your resume was good, but I noticed that you like Taco Bell. Tell me more." And I'm like, why would someone randomly choose to interview me because of my interest in Taco Bell, fast food, right? There's an interest section on the bottom of a resume, right? What are my interests, my personal interests? So I wrote some interesting things, and usually that's where people write interesting things about themselves, right? And that is what captured the interest of the employer. The other things were good in the resume, but they were looking for something that stood out in the resume, right? So I'm just saying that for women too, we want something that stands out in your resume. And I'm not resume, I'm sorry, your online dating profile, right? It doesn't have to represent the full you, right? Like, sure, you can go to bars and go partying, and like those are all fun things, right? And a woman will discover that about you on a first date or a second date or a third date, right? There's plenty to be discovered over time when you meet someone, but your first impression of yourself should be that you are an interesting person, you're funny, you're relatable, you are ambitious. Yes, women like ambitious men, but you also have to be self-deprecating about it, you know? So using humor to talk about your interests, right? And yeah, so I would say like those are the things that women are looking for in a profile. So I think a profile should be really well written, meaning it doesn't have to be formal, but it can't have grammar mistakes. Women are really keen readers. Women, we catch these things, like if a guy misspells words, or uses the wrong grammar or punctuation or whatever, it's easy now to have ChatGPT take what you've written and rewrite it in kind of a fun way, without any mistakes. So
What type of clothes do men need in these pictures to present themselves in the best way possible? Casual clothes or formal or a mix of both?
I would say a mix of both. Yeah, and well fitted. Choose colors that help you pop as a person. Okay. Like, again, it depends on your skin tone and all these things, or your features, even your height and all of that. Okay. So, yeah, just picture, just again, women grew up on Bollywood. Okay. So we have a certain idea of what our dream man looks like. Okay. So I would say emulate that, and again, this isn't about trying to look like a normal human being. Of course, we're going to see you as a normal human being. As time goes on, we're going to see you in your sweatpants. Okay. That's obvious, right? But I want you to reverse engineer what you're looking for in women. You want to be attracted to their profile pictures, right? And so you want to see attractive profiles of women, and likewise, women want to see the same. So again, no baggy clothes. Have someone choose your outfits for you, that work well for a dating profile. And now you can do searches. You can like look online for attractive men's dating profiles and see.
And what about pictures of them smoking or with alcohol?
Exactly. Like, are you trying to attract a hooker? Like, I don't understand. And again, there's nothing wrong with drinking and smoking. I'm not saying that those are bad things, but those are things that, well, first of all, most women don't like smokers, unfortunately or fortunately. So you don't want to put anything that will weed out attractive women. And here I'm assuming you want an attractive woman that's out of your league. That's what most men want. So, you know, even the non-superficial ones want an attractive partner, right? And all of us can be attractive. This is what I feel. It doesn't matter your height, weight, looks. We can all present our best selves. and find the right mate, you know? So yes, please, no pictures of you at a beer garden. I know it's fun. I love beer gardens too, but I don't need to see it in a profile picture.
So moving on to bios, how are men supposed to pick prompts? What are the guidelines for picking the right prompts to showcase your personality?
It's really up to you. I think every prompt is helpful, actually. And so what I do is I first have women fill out a questionnaire about what their values are, how they like to spend their time. I even have them go and ask their friends and parents 3 qualities that they appreciate about my client, and she writes it down, and what books she likes to read and interesting facts from her childhood and, things, so stories that have helped shape her, and also identify her unique values because we all have unique values. And then I would take the questions that are on the website and then try to match the answers according to the questions, and sometimes I actually use ChatGPT to say, okay, use the answers that this woman has provided and match them to these questions and write them in a fun, sassy way. And you can say, write them in a masculine yet funny way. Okay. And so ChatGPT will help spit out all of these fun answers for all of those questions, and you can find these common questions online too, like top 20 questions asked in dating websites. And so that way your answers can be like interesting and funny. And almost every question has value,
Could you explain what you meant by everyone has a unique value?
So values are really important. Values are what you stand for. Okay. Some people are very religious. Some people are very family oriented. Some people value education. Some people value health. Personally, I value personal growth. Like that's been my wheelhouse, and so I've really valued a partner who shares that value with me, um, is open to therapy, for instance, couples therapy, for instance. We do couples workshops together, like I love that stuff. And luckily my partner does too, mindfulness, meditation. But it's got to be something that speaks to your heart and something that you're willing to die for. It's your values.
So when it comes to your dating profile, what information is relevant and what is irrelevant?
What's of relevance, like I said, are your values, your interests, what you work, what kind of work you do, and somehow like whether you desire a family or not, like at a high level, you don't have to say I'm looking for a wife and kids, like you don't have to write that in your profile, but at least some indication of whether, that's the direction you'd like to head. Um, and then what's not a value is generic answers like I like to read. I like to go jogging. I'm not saying those are bad things. It's just that some answers have become so generic, like I like to eat good food, those types of things.
Should men talk about how they would treat the women they're going to date? For instance, can they write things like, I'm a gentleman, I'll take care of you, I'm a feminist? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I saw in one of your profiles that, one person wrote intersectional feminism. I don't really know. Like I'm not a feminist myself, so like I'm not a social justice worker or something. So that doesn't necessarily appeal to me. I think just the way a man writes about himself and writes to me helps illuminate whether he is generally a respecting and respectful person, you know? Um, yeah. And so he doesn't like you don't need to write about like what a gentleman you're going to be. You just make sure that in your profile you are self-deprecating, like that means being humble, not humble like to a fault, but kind of writing something funny about yourself that shows that you're not an arrogant person. And sometimes I do put in in the profile, like I like to tip waiters really well. Like that's one of my values, you know. That helps show that um you're a kind person, you know, something that shows that you're a kind person. And so that's another thing I wanted to tell you was that you need to show, not tell about yourself in your profile. So I'm going to give an example. Um, I like to read history books was one of the comments or one of the answers in the profile that you sent me. I would write, I loved learning about Genghis Khan and his conquests across Asia. Like, especially this book really popped for me, you know, or I love reading Eckhart Tolle's New Earth, you know, like that is very specific, right? A woman is going to be taken into your world because you've shared something that she can talk about with you if it connects.
So when it comes to your introduction, should you do a list type introduction? I'm an accountant, I love learning languages, or should you just like write a paragraph?
Yes. So, you know, there's templates you can use. So, you can use like a 4-part template. The first paragraph is about being attention grabbing. That's your intro. The second one is about describing your occupation. The third one is about sharing your daily activities. And the fourth one is describing your ideal partner. And the most important thing is you want to show and not tell, you know. So for instance, if you say you like wellness or working out, like health is one of your values, then I would share that, you know, I love going to the gym every day from 8 to 9. That's my jam, you know, listening to my favorite XYZ podcast or whatever. Something that's like, it shows that you value health and working out, but not saying, I like health. You know what I mean? So we want to show, not tell in your profile.
And what are your thoughts on being strong in your bio or setting up your expectations from your matches? For example, you tell people upfront that you're prompt and you respect your time, and you expect your match to be prompt in their communication as well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. First of all, you cannot expect anyone to be prompt in this world, right? We're all, first, if you're looking for a high value woman, a highly sought after woman, she's not going to respond to your messages quickly. You know, that's just the way the world is. We're busy. Where women get thousands of likes, especially if they have a strong profile. That's what I've seen with my clients when I work on their profiles. Their profile, they get too many hits and then they're like, what do I do? Right? And so I would say you have to practice a lot of mindfulness. So breathing, look, go back to Indian roots around meditation, breathing, yoga, because dating is a spiritual practice. It's a journey to finding true love, right? You're opening your heart, you're becoming vulnerable, and dating also brings up your shadows. It brings up all of your gunk. Everything that you've been suppressing, love is going to break that open for you. Okay? Read lots of Rumi, cry, you know, do what you need to do to soothe your heart, have a lot of self-compassion, you know, practice a ton of patience, you know. Ultimately, the guy who keeps showing up for a woman wins. That's how I've seen with my clients. I tell my clients, date lots of guys. I tell them not to just choose a guy and just stick to that guy. Why? Because you can't know immediately, well, at least for women. We don't usually know immediately whether a guy is good for us or not. We do end up going for the bad guys. Like that's how we're wired. We're wired to seek out emotionally unavailable men. It's because of our toxic environment, you know? And so if you're a good guy, like a catch, my husband's a catch, 100% catch. Okay. But he was rejected by a lot of women because he's such a good guy, you know, like as a person, as a human being. And so for you, you're going to have to bring out the best version of yourself, right? Be patient, but not a pushover. We don't like pushovers, right? Be sturdy. Um, Reach out to lots of women, be patient, be funny, always show up, right? Men who always show up win, okay? Because that shows that you have resilience and perseverance. And I guarantee that if you show up to your dating life every day, you're going to meet your match. It's just the way manifestation works.
Did you meet your husband on a dating app?
So, ironically, I did not. I met him in a meditation group. All of my clients have met their matches online and my sisters. So, I just got lucky that I was dating online. So, here's the other thing you can meet your partner anywhere. But the good thing about dating online is that you're practicing dating and you're opening your heart to the universe. You're saying, listen, I'm ready for love, and then the universe will send your partner to you in whatever way, like an introduction, it could be online, it could be at an event, it could be at a wedding, you just never know. Okay. So the picture again, I'm looking at number one. I get not not attractive picture, right? Like the guy not wearing attractive shirt and pants. He's standing next to like something that looks beat up. And it's like a selfie, but not because someone else is clearly taking the picture of him. Like that's the weirdest thing, right? And then the bio says, let's begin with the end in mind. I appreciate honesty and high value people. I'd love to know about your interest in your story. I love to shop for groceries, supermarkets using 10 something apps. Okay, so I don't know. Does this profile, I mean, does it pop out to me? No, because I'm not getting anything. You know, if honesty is one of his values um that he really stands for, then there's a way that he could show it through his own actions. Like you don't need to be projecting onto your future partner that, listen, I want you to be honest. I want you to be high value. Tell me your story and your interests, and then, like going using an app for grocery shopping. I'm not sure like what that's trying to show. Like, does he value using his time wisely? Does he have social anxiety? Does he not like going to the grocery store and interacting with people? You know?
Actually, he's
Um,
doing the contrary. Like he says, I like to shop instead of using apps. But
oh, is
anyway,
that what it says?
yeah,
I love to shop for groceries and supermarkets using 10-minute
than
apps.
using, yeah, than using 10 minute app.
Oh, okay, okay. I like that. I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Because there was a star over that part. So, okay. So I would say then I would reframe that as like one of my favorite pastimes is to talk to the checkout person at the supermarket and ask him his day. Like that's something very specific. Again, you can use ChatGPT to make it funny, because a lot of us have a tough time coming up with something funny on the spot. But yesterday I was at Costco in America, Costco, and there was a random guy, like a grandfather type of person, who was going around and talking to random people. Like he saw me and he started making funny faces at me, and I had my headphones in. And I was like, oh my God, that is so cute. He is just going around making conversation with people, And I'm not saying that this guy in the profile likes doing that, but I would say, what is it about going out shopping that excites you, that makes you connected to life in some way? Maybe you could say one of my favorite aisles in the supermarket is the plant section because I love growing plants. Like, I don't know, like that's a very specific thing. What aisle in the grocery store do you like shopping in? You
Why
know,
do we want to be specific and not generic?
because what is a woman going to respond to? What is she going to say? Is she going to say, I value honesty too? Let's chat. Like, is that a turn on for anyone? No, right? Even if let's just say you went to a random person and you told them these four things about yourself. Do you think they'd want to continue having a conversation with you? Like, hey man, I love going to the grocery store too. Yay, let's go together. There's nothing to connect on here, But if it's, I love making the cash register laugh or cashier laugh by telling stupid dad jokes or whatever, then at least that's something humorous. Like I could imagine that that's what you're doing. right? So you want to bring out a little imagination too, okay? Um, and and there are samples of profiles that work, which I can send to you afterwards, and I mean, you can even look online, just samples of men's profiles that stand out, just so you can see how they're using humor and specific details to bring out. So let's go back to uh, so I'm going to go to page 2, intersectional feminism. We talked about that. And then he put the about me, I don't smoke, no drinking, undergraduate degree. That's fine. Again, I would use that 4-part formula that I was talking about, where I said first start off with something that's attention grabbing, like, you know, whatever whatever that is, like something funny, something that's like, you know, yeah, like when a person is going through your profile, they read that first thing and they laugh. Okay.
Does
Um,
can it be something provocative or
yes, it could be something provocative. Yeah. But funny. I would err on the funny side. The reason I'm saying that is because it tends to sound too serious if you're being provocative but not funny, you know? Um, something a little self-deprecating even, you know? So, and then image number 3 is him wearing a dhoti. Something funny I think about all the time, what my life partner is doing right now. Like, see, that's a turn off. Why would you be spending your time thinking about some future woman? Like that's, and the one thing I'd love to know is stories that have shaped you. Now, again, you're projecting onto this person. What a woman wants to know are stories that have shaped you as a man. Like that's what we want to know. We want to be drawn into your story. Last month I went scuba diving in the whatever, I'm thinking Caribbean, but whatever is close to India, right? In the Maldives. And I caught a giant piranha. Like, again, I'm making this up. And I was, taken, whatever. I just come up with a story. Like, you don't have to make it up. We're not saying make it up. Take whatever you've done and make it funny. And it shows that you love traveling. You had an interesting experience and, you know, something that is attention grabbing. Okay. So again, I can share like sample profiles with you, but tell the story about yourself. Don't say, I want to hear your story. That's what dating is about. Dating is about getting to know each other's story over time.
sure? And the profile is not the place for it to show that you're interested as much in the woman's story as you are invested into your own sharing your own personal stories.
Yes, you can end. So, like I said, the 4-part template, the 4th part could be what I'm looking for. And you could say, I'm looking for a woman with an interesting story, who, with stories to tell and, good conversationalist or loves shopping at grocery stores, like I do, um, you could share that in what you're looking for.
Sure. Okay. Can you?
Again, for this profile, I would say ask your friends or family 3 things that they know about you that they like and incorporate them in this profile because there's nothing unique that stands out in this profile. So I'm looking at his main profile picture. I think that's a good one, like he's wearing good clothes. I don't know what his face looks like, so but would you agree that that's an attractive picture?
Absolutely. Yeah. Nice.
Okay. A life goal of mine to build a life where success is measured by experiences. Okay, I would say again, like be specific. What's your goal? Like what does it mean to be measured by experiences? Like that sounds like you're taking it from a Forbes magazine, like be like, I don't know, sharing a beautiful home with my future family, but try to tell it as a story, like that would be a measure of success, or running his own business, or setting up his own sustainable farm, like something that's like actually measurable versus saying that you want something measurable, like uh, yes, a woman can get on board with a big dream, you know? So he goes on to say, and the impact I leave behind, not just achievements. So again, I think that's good, but something specific would be more interesting, right?
Yeah, I'm just
Unless,
wondering, so sorry to interrupt you, but the more specific you get, do you kind of alienate one section of the population, right?
yes.
So yeah, what do you do
Yes,
about
that is the goal. That's the goal. You don't want to be appealing to everybody. You want to appeal to someone that resonates with you on a soul level. Okay.
no matter regardless of your dating objective, like if you're looking for something like let's say short term or long
Yeah,
term,
my
I know it's going to
focus
be
is
different.
on men looking for their life partner, so I can't really comment on that. Like if you're looking for short-term dating, then you're probably just going to put up sexy pictures of yourself, shirtless, possibly. I mean, I've had friends who date men like that, and they have dated a shirtless man from Brazil online. Like for dating casually, I think it's a different conversation. You know, we're looking at you trying to attract a high value woman who wants to be like your partner. At least that's what I am. I think those pictures of him traveling in Europe, they could be fine as if his face looks good. I don't know. Dating me is like having a trusted co-pilot. Together, we'll explore new horizons, evolve, creating lasting memories. Okay, but I'm not sure that's anything unique, you know? Um, I would say you could make that funny. Like, again, use ChatGPT and make it funny. Like, it's like traveling through, doing a safari in Africa and gazing at wild animals while, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to say, like, maybe you could make that particular quote funny. But again, I'm not saying that that's very unique. Like, every relationship is an adventure because that's what relationships are, right? I think the trusting co-pilot part might be interesting, like something he could work with because women love trusting. So maybe you could tell a story about what a trusting person you are, you know. I'm weirdly attracted to quick, unapologetic passion for their interests and someone who can pull off an impromptu adventure with style. Okay, maybe. I mean that could work, you know. I mean, I guess this profile isn't bad. I would put it in the B category. Definitely like someone a woman could reach out to and get to know more. My bio, finally here, hope you're here too. I hope old school romance still works. I think there's nothing really in the bio that stands out. Again, I would go back to that four-part template that I was talking about. But I would say if you want to be specific, he could say something like my favorite movie was Hamake Hekon or whatever. And because like I'm looking for that style of romance, something specific, whatever. But yeah, he needs more in his bio. There's nothing there. Um,
So
especially
every
since he says he's
prompt,
looking for something long term.
sorry.
Hmm.
So every prompt needs to spur conversation, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah, well, especially the bio. The bio needs to be the one that stands out, you know?
So it has to be more anecdotal than.
Yes, anecdotes. Anecdotes are important.
Sure,
Specifics.
sure.
So I don't know. I'm not sure that close up might work for him. I don't know. That picture, we'll see. I mean, we'd have to see what his face looks like, but I'm not seeing something stylish, but okay, maybe it works. My bio, I'm an entrepreneur, ambitious, open-minded, and fun-loving. Variety excites me and keeps me fresh. I love to meet people and have memorable experiences. Very few things match the joy of an interesting and fun conversation, things that I can never get enough of, movies, dance, small music, small talk, and travel. I think I like his profile because it's upbeat. Um, a fun fact I'm obsessed with. I keep rewatching my favorite movies at regular intervals. So there's nothing specific. Like I wish he would say, I'm a fun fact, I'm obsessed with rewatching Friends episodes over and over while working out at the gym. I don't know, or like the funny scene. I rewatched the funny scene from Batman over and over or something. Like something specific and funny, not something generic. The world would be a better place with more random acts of kindness and respect for people who are less privileged. I mean, that shows he has an open heart. That's really nice. He could say something like, on my last trip, I donated X amount to some charity that, you know, it blew my mind, it blew my heart open. Something that shows that he likes to do charity and he likes to do random acts of kindness. Like that's more evocative than saying that you like that in your partner, right? And what makes a great relationship is honesty, valuing each other's individual space, doing a lot of cool and fun things together, and bringing out the inner child in each other. So clearly, this guy is a growth-minded guy. That's very attractive. I think he could benefit by just adding some specifics you know, like reading books like The New Earth together, or um yeah, doing cool and fun things together like going salsa dancing on a Friday night, that's specific. So, but I would say I would put him in the high B category. If his pictures are very attractive, then I might put him in the A category. I would say if you're a guy who's serious about finding your partner, work with a dating expert, like work with a profile expert just to have a second look at your profile, get some advice from your sisters or friends, female friends, and really put your best foot forward. You can look online, like how tips tips and tricks on making your online profile stand out, right? And look at other men who've like go through and see what other profiles of men are and see which ones are attractive to you, just so you can get an eye on what stands out, because you do need to stand out. Even if you're on a matrimonial dating site, you have to stand out. That's what I've seen.